Very cool start to the morning as some of us are working with some of that kind of patchy fog out there. In some areas it could be dense at times, but I think that should begin to lift up as we head into the later portions of the morning into the early afternoon as temperatures do begin to rise, and a lot of us should be generally above where we were yesterday by the time we head into the afternoon. A lot of us were into the 40s yesterday. I think a lot more of us will be into the 50s, even some near 60s as we go in throughout much of the day. But here's where that fog is really settling at into near areas of Odessa, just a little bit over a mile visibility as well into Hobbs, Andrews, and Seminole as well, even the Fort Stockton. More of a haze out there, 2.5 mile visibility, which a lot of us are just near or at freezing, which right now, at least for where the fog is at, mostly everyone is above freezing. But I think it's some very localized spots. There could be maybe some light frost on your car, so make sure you give yourself a little bit of extra time for that commute. Go ahead and warm up the car because it is certainly rather chilly, and just give yourself extra time for that commute. Otherwise, though, most of the colder areas well off into the east of us, where these kind of white boxes, these are cold weather advisories. We're talking 6 degrees out into Bristol, Virginia, and Tennessee, with around 22 into Atlanta, 16 in Minneapolis, 21 out into Bismarck. Our next storm system is currently well off into the west, but we still have a couple days before we get there, where mostly everyone across the Lone Star State of Texas, thanks to that cold front we had this weekend, into the 30s this morning. Otherwise, though, hanging on to a fair bit of clouds with around 37 into Midland, 35 off into Odessa, near 40 into San Angelo at 38 degrees. We'll still hang on to these clouds as we go on throughout much of the day, but I think we'll have at least some more slight breaks into the clouds in comparison to what we had yesterday. A lot of us into those 50s and 60s for daytime highs, and I think heading into Tuesday we'll have some gradual clearing of the clouds. I think we'll still be having a rather cool start. A lot of us into the 30s and 40s with daytime highs under some southerly flow going to rebound back into some 70s, even in some spots I think along into the Pecos River Valley, going to be along into near 80 degrees. But we'll have a kind of a weak boundary that will be able to push through heading into Wednesday. Not going to do much in terms of temperatures. I think maybe a 3 to 5 degree temperature drop with the light breeze. I think it's more the system off into the west that's going to at least have a more of a noticeable impact, especially when it comes to those breezier conditions as we head into Thursday. I think we'll pick up some kind of breezier conditions, could be gusting up to 30 miles an hour, but mostly, especially if you are traveling more so off into the east, actually a handful amount of storms are going to be possible. So keep that in mind if you are traveling towards the east coast this weekend. So those temperatures, at least heading in throughout the next several days, rather stay steady into some 70s and 60s, with the exception of today and Saturday, where I think we could get back into some 80s for the forecast. So today, no, we're going to be near 80. We're going to be working with those 50s by the time we head into the later portions of the afternoon, with 56 into Midland, 55 off into Odessa. Similar song and tune across the Big Country and Contra Valley, rebounding back into some 60s throughout much of the week, near 80 by the time we head into the weekend. Definitely going to be a significantly warmer trend with the breezy cool fronts in between, but not going to stop us as we head into the weekend.